By sending his citizens to slaughter, Putin is dragging Russia into a demographic hole. Thus, in 2022, 7% less children were born than a year earlier, and in 2023, according to official data, even fewer were born, 1,200,000. This is the lowest figure since the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. According to demographers, in 2024, the lowest birth rate in Russia is expected since the beginning of the 19th century.
What is happening now? That people are dying, when many become disabled in Russia, when hundreds of thousands of people left Russia not wanting to fight, and this phenomena of a new wave of Russian immigration has arisen. These are all dramatic scenes, especially for demography.
According to the Federal State Statistics Service, in the Belgorod region which borders Ukraine, the drop in the birth rate was 10.2% in 2024. The reason is obvious: high death rate at the front, as well as an increase in the number of people with disabilities among men of reproductive age. In 2023, the number of men with disabilities in the Federation increased by 30% compared to 2022. Thus, according to the Pension and Social Insurance Fund, in 2023, 2,170,000 men with disabilities aged 31 to 59 years were registered in Russia, and another 290,000 people aged 18 to 30 years. This is a record figure for the last 8 years.
In the World Wars I and II, when Russia suffered huge human losses, in general this affected the dynamics of the birth rate to this day. There were so-called demographic waves, and they caused a drop in the birth rate in Russia every 25 years, and accordingly the population declined. But what happened in 2022 and 2023 is, of course, a catastrophic situation, because at that moment Russia lost all hope for at least neutralization of the negative demographic trends.
According to the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, Russia has concentrated about 550,000 soldiers on the border and occupied territories of Ukraine.
It has remained constant for several months now and includes various units, including the so-called Russian Guard, units of the Federal Security Service and special services that are concentrated in the occupied territories in order to control events in the occupied cities and the local population. Andriy Yusov, press representative of the main Directorate of Intelligence of the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense, on the air of the national telethon.
The need for constant replenishment of the ranks of the Russian army is associated with huge losses at the front. At the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum on June the 5th, Putin said that the Russian army loses 10,000 soldiers every month. However, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reports the elimination of more than 500,000 Russian invaders since the beginning of the full-scale Russian invasion. In turn, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelenskyy said that for every Ukrainian soldier, 8 Russian occupiers were killed during the offensive in the north of the Kharkiv region.
He does not care about his people, both civilians and military. Their breakthrough towards Kharkiv, which happened a little over 2 weeks ago, resulted in military casualties of 1 to 8, 1 Ukrainian to 8 Russians. Volodymyr Zelenskyy, president of Ukraine, in interviews with foreign media.
The number of emigrants in Russia has also increased since the beginning of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine. According to the Wall Street Journal, in 2023 alone, 450,000 citizens left Russia fleeing mobilization. Experts say that a sharp increase in male death rate, an increase in the number of people with disabilities, and as a consequence a decrease in the birth rate, will inevitably lead to a demographic catastrophe in Russia and a decline in the economy in the near future. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Yulia Granovska, UATV News.